All right, guys, super excited to share with you the Seiko Tic Tac. Now, there's two different versions of this. This is the szsb007, and then there's another one that has like more of an age-loomed type look to it and comes on a bracelet. This one comes on a faux alligator type leather strap with a clasp situation here. I didn't really care for it on that. I threw it on this Nato. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of Nato, but I could see where this one would easily live on some sort of Nato strap or a better, more premium leather. I unfortunately don't have a ton of premium leather straps. I do have this one that EA made for me, and but it's brown, and I think it would look good on there, but I need to find a good some more really good leather straps so I could showcase some of these other watches when they come across. But you can see this was a three-hand, time and then date only. The indices are applied like brushed metal, so there isn't going to be any lume other than what's on the hour and minute hand. And you can see the handset is very similar to, say, like the Alpinist style line, and actually even the dial and the watch overall design and concept here definitely looks like an Alpinist, but it is not. I mean, it's a different case and everything. You can see it's much thinner along here than what I remember. It's a non-screw down crown, 100-meter water resist, but you can see really nice polish. So there's some brush on there, but it's got a lot of polishing going on and just a little bit of brushing basically on the top side of the lugs. The rest of it's pretty much polished. So case size, just under 40 mil. I measure at 39.8. Lug to lug is about 47.5. You have nice turn down on those drilled lugs. And 13 mil thick. I'll double check, but I think that might be a sapphire crystal. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't find that information, but I'll see what I can do. And then 20 mil lug width. And then, of course, the strap tapers down. And I believe the bracelet on the other model tapers down as well. So it houses the 4R35 movement, which has a display back. There is a protective coating on this, which I'm not going to take off because this watch was loaned in, so we'll have to look past that plastic. But you can see underneath on the glass, I'm assuming that's Hardlex on the back here, but it says Tic Tac limited edition. I don't see any numbering of the limited edition, but it is definitely a limited edition. So, and from what I gather, Tic Tac is a retail outlet store or online store or something in Japan, and they were doing like a 35th anniversary. So if you're wondering, this Nato is a toxic Nato. This is their Zulu style Nato. I will do a full video on that stuff soon. But if you were wondering, that's what this is. So let's zoom in on this sunburst gray dial. You can see it's going to, with those applied metal indices, it's going to be very reflective. So depending on what kind of light you catch, it's going to be very legible to possibly disappearing. So because it's going to be pretty dynamic, as you see as I rotate around, it's got a lot of reflective surfaces. So I almost kind of wish, I don't know, I guess I'm indifferent on the 12 and the 6 being polished because it does kind of match the handset. I guess I'm indifferent on it. They could be polished or they could have been brushed, either way. So I think that's not a legitimate complaint. That's maybe just me recognizing something. The Seiko just below the 12 is also applied, and then the rest of it's all printed on there. So there is that. Let me give you a wrist shot. I will do a lume shot, even though I know there's not much lume on this. But I will give you a wrist shot on my 7 1/4 wrist. If I can manage to get this Nato on. You guys know I'm not very fluent with getting Natos on, but I can manage. So you can see there on my 7 1/4 wrist, wears great, feels great, great looking. I don't want to say monotone because it is, all the stainless steel and then with that gray dial, like it kind of has that look to it. I think it's definitely not a flashy watch. So this is going to be for the connoisseur. This is going to be for us Seiko fanboys, if you will. This watch does not have any weird, crazy pop other than it is difficult to get, and it's going to demand a premium And there's going to be, all that stuff where people are buying them just to sell them, unfortunately, because the few articles I read up on, the retail price of the conversion to the US should only be $480. They're definitely trending higher than that. I think at, $480, it's definitely under that $500 comfort zone that I like to stay at. But I suspect that these are going to be trending much higher, and that's going to be for the true Seiko fanboy that really wants to own this limited edition Tic Tac. And it's, the case size, I get it. The case size is, a bit of an allure. And then, of course, that Alpinist handset or Cathedral handset or whatever is definitely a draw to a lot of us. So I get it. And then it's going to be crazy versatile with straps. And this is one that I've looked at the other one. Now I haven't had it in the metal, but I would definitely go after this model and just treat it like a strap monster. I don't think it needs to be on a bracelet. Not every watch needs to live on a bracelet. I'm learning that, guys. Even though I'm a hardcore bracelet guy, I understand that not every watch needs to be on a bracelet. I've tried to force some on bracelets and they just don't work. And I feel like that's this one. I don't know that I really care for the factory strap that it comes on, but definitely a high quality leather. Some elastic straps, maybe. Definitely a barrage of Natos could be outfitted with this guy, gray or black. Like here's a black one that would look. I almost put the black one on and then I was like, nah, I think it needs to be that gray. It needs to complete that whole monotone look that it has going. So anyway, guys, thanks for checking this out. I appreciate you watching the video. If you're curious, I'll put a link to his website. It's JTM Watches. That's who is sourcing some of these really difficult to find watches for me, some of these monsters that I've had on the channel lately. And then there's a bunch of other JDM or Thai release. Get a hold of JTM Watches. He has a small inventory, but he flips them fast. But you can also reach out to him. And if you're really nice, maybe he will find what you're looking for at very good prices. So let me give you a little bit of a Lume shot. And I want to say big thanks to JTM for sending this in. I didn't have to buy one. I do have to say that Lume, this is my first time looking at it, it's a little more cool blue versus the traditional vibrant green that Seiko uses. So a little bit different formula on that handset, I believe. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. There's a quick look at the Seiko Tic Tac, and I'll see you on the next video.